Hey everyone, I'm Michael, and this is another episode in my series, A Plant a Week. In this series, I talk about various houseplants. I highlight one for the whole video, talking about how to properly care for it, how to water it, how to propagate it, everything that you need to know to keep your plant healthy and happy. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Peperomia Obtusifolia, this nice big round boy right here. This plant is called Peperomia Obtusifolia, or as it's more commonly known, round boy. Just kidding. It's more commonly known as the baby rubber plant because of its similarities to rubber plants. Peperomias are one of the most diverse species of plants with over 1,000 individual species presently recorded. Peperomia Obtusifolia is a succulent variety of peperomia that was originally found in the rainforests of South America and more recently in basically any plant nursery. The plant is characterized by its thick, upright stems with glossy, round leaves. It stores water in these thick leaves, which typically shrivel and wrinkle when they're thirsty, and plump right up when they've been given a good drink. There's also a variegated variety of Peperomia Obtusifolia that's also commonly available, but for some reason I've always had a preference for non-variegated species. I know a few people who have kept a lot of peperomias and are a little peperomia crazy. I, on the other hand, have been kind of slow to get on the peperomia craze. Currently, I have 4 in my collection. This Obtusifolia, a red twist peperomia, which is my most recent peperomia, these Peperomia orba cuttings, which are really ready to be planted, and this wrecked Peperomia prostrata that I basically killed in the sun. Side note, I totally forgot about my Peperomia Hope, which is also a peperomia, but it's also my favorite of the peperomias. So Obtusifolia comes in a close second, but this guy's like one of my favorite plants. But with over 1,000 species, I guess I better get collecting. Everywhere I've looked says that these peperomias tend to stay small and compact, but I'm not sure how true that is. There's a bank nearby that has one of these plants in their foyer, and it's massive. It's been growing for years, and all the new growth is about twice the size of mine. You can keep your plant small and compact through pruning, but why not grow into a monster? When it comes to plants, I have a tendency to like bigger ones. Insert eggplant emoji here. These peperomia don't need tremendous light to survive. Keep them out of direct sunlight, as the leaves will yellow and fall off if they get too much sun. Ideally, this plant should be kept somewhere where it gets medium to bright indirect light, but it can also handle lower light areas. It won't grow as fast, but it'll tolerate it. This peperomia is really great because it tells you when it's thirsty. Its leaves will look puckered and a little wrinkly when it's craving a good drink. I water mine about once a week, but really I could be watering it a little more frequently. I keep most of my plants in terracotta to help with my monsoon level watering, but I find that this peperomia in terracotta soaks up a lot of water really fast, faster than most other plants. You don't want to overwater this plant though. Let the soil dry out between waterings, otherwise it could start to lose leaves and die. Because Peperomia Obtusifolia like their soil to dry out between waterings, make sure you have yours planted in an airy soil. I have mine in a mix of potting soil with plenty of perlite and a little bit of orchid bark just to break up the soil a little bit more. The orchid bark isn't really necessary, but because of my heavy watering hand, I like to err on the side of caution. As for fertilizing, Peperomia Obtusifolia aren't too fussy. You could fertilize it once a year or every couple of weeks and it'll be happy. Make sure to use weak fertilizer if you are fertilizing it more often. And it can handle a wide variety of fertilizers from cactus fertilizer to regular green plant fertilizer. I like to use organic fertilizer on all of my plants throughout the growing season, phytoplankton-based, fish emulsion, and I've even experimented with coffee as a fertilizer. Propagating these is super easy, and I think I've featured cuttings of this in my Pink Princess Propagation video series. Simply cut off the tops and put them in water, and in a matter of weeks you'll have roots pushing out the bottom. It's important to cut your plants back because that's how it becomes bushy, prioritizing new growth at the base of the plant as well as branching where the cut was taken. Any cuttings you do take can be easily propagated and added back into the plant to form a large round boy cluster, and who doesn't want that? You can also propagate this plant through simple leaf cuttings. Take a leaf off, set it in water or in moist soil, and wait for it to push out new roots. As far as pests, I've heard that Peperomia Obtusifolia are susceptible to spider mites, which is disgusting. But thankfully, I haven't experienced any on mine so far. I have battled fungus gnats in my Peperomia Hope, but that's a common battle with most of my plants. Man, I gotta get my watering under control. This round boy is not known to be toxic, so great news, you can keep it out and let your babies and your animals gnaw away. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, it'll probably still make them sick, but at least the option is there. This round leaf plant was the second Peperomia in my collection, but has quickly become my favorite of the bunch. I love the round, juicy leaves. They're super easy to care for and very fast growers. And with how readily available they are, there's really no excuse not to add a big round boy to your collection. Thanks again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for similar content. On Mondays, I post videos about houseplants. And on Fridays, I also post videos about houseplants. And reading, writing, photography, art, and any other generic interests of mine. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. Also, you can find links to H&H Games, the board game company I've helped create, and our debut board game, Season of Heroes. You can also find the Amazon links to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns. Thanks for watching, bye!